RV inspections, bank ordered versus ordering your own. Is there a difference?
You're about to find out.
And he's here. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, good to see you.
We met at the RV Super Show here just
We
recently,
sure
and
did.
ironically, he's here to do the inspection. That was so odd. Had his card sitting on the table, or the buyers said this guy's going to come, and I'm like, gosh, that sounds familiar. And then he calls me and says, well, yeah, we met at the RV Super Show, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got your card right here.
I was the guy in the gray shirt.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Dave Cantrell from Miles for Monday RV Inspection Services. We are certified through the NRVia. We're all independent, but we have a very strict certification process. Normal standards that we do on each kind of rig. We all use pretty much a standardized software for inspection. It's actually the same software that home inspectors use.
Oh, really?
But we modify it. We have different templates for different types of things, like travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes. We have different templates that cover everything from general outside, the roof, all the way to the bottom tires and everything underneath and everything in between. The typical report is normally 100 plus pages.
Wow.
Anywhere from 125 to 200 photos, depending on how complex the rig is. Numbers of slides. So we want to make sure just identify any kind of discrepancies that might be there, and certainly all the safety things. Tires, tires out of date. The propane detector, CO detector, smoke detectors. All those things have recommended life cycle that a lot of people, a lot of us, are familiar with until I went through the training. Even your home smoke detectors have a life cycle. How often do we change those?
Yeah, right.
But it is a thing.
Until they start annoying us and waking us up in the middle of the night.
Exactly. And that's just the battery. That's not even telling us whether it's bad or not.
Yeah.
But so safety is a big thing, and also the condition of the coach. And that's what we're that's our main focus.
Okay.
Just making sure everything is as and as advertised, condition right. So there's lots of things that's out there. Unfortunately, people will do the promotional videos, pictures. But it's when you show up, it's not the
right. Been there, yeah. Happens more.
And it makes
sadly,
and it makes no difference whether it's new or used. Fully recommend everything get inspected. Obviously on a used rig, but we find as much things on new rigs as we do used ones. Believe it or not.
Really.
Just because there's so much activity going on right now. The last 18 months, as everybody's probably aware, it's been just blown up. You got shortages this, manpower issues this, everything. Like yesterday, I inspected a brand new motorhome. The front air conditioner was not even ducted into the racetrack system.
Oh my goodness.
So, a simple fix, but it's just attention to detail.
Right.
And it's not that the people who are making them are bad people. It's just these things are pretty much handmade, 100% handmade.
Yeah.
And I've certainly had a bad day from time to time. I'm sure you have as well. Everybody has a bad day. So absolutely on a new rig. I mean, because I've actually seen that a couple times. Seen the inverters not connected. I've had buddy of mine who are inspectors who've seen plumbing not connected. It's just people getting a rush.
Too big of a hurry.
If they'll find a problem at the factory in their walkthrough and they'll go back and do something maybe out of a sequence, well, ordinarily somebody would come behind that guy, and follow up. But if it's done out of sequence going down the line, well, that step gets omitted because these things are going down basically like assembly road. So they don't intend to do that, but it just so that's where we do our value and making sure people are getting the best value.
All right. Well, we'll let you get started, and we'll kind of follow you around a little bit.
We'll be back about 4 or 5 hours. It's not a short process, but it's very detailed. So you'll see. See, this was mounted backwards.
That's it. Bringing out the heavy artillery.
When you check the tires, obviously looking for the brand because we record what brand it is, making sure it's the right size that the manufacturer recommends. We also want to check the load bearing capacity, how many pounds it's supposed to hold, and make sure if tires have been replaced, they actually have the right kind of tires on. Okay. Also, the date code, it'll be DOT, have series numbers, and looking at the last 4 numbers. 2317. So that's the 23rd week of 2017. NTSB likes the tires to be between 5 and 7 years. When they're sitting still, those internal treads can separate. You can't see it visually. So your first indication is a catastrophic blowout.
So underneath here, what are we looking for?
Looking at all suspension components, axle rating, and make sure nothing's bent, making sure the springs aren't flat.
Okay.
All the U-bolts are good and tight, or there, not missing and tight.
That would not be good.
No, you got the equalizer, which is the part between the wheels that helps it go over the rough terrain. Check the equalizer systems on it.
Okay.
Also, check the shackles. Put a little silicone in there.
Because there's no seams behind there for any leaks.
Like I say, we won't put there, it just because you don't want it to grow down through there.
Right, right.
Said he got a problem, guess that I got more of them. Hit you with my paws, dog, all 4 of them. But I'd rather be more cautious.
On the roof, we look for the general condition of the roof. Usually take pictures from back to front and front to back. We make sure the sealant is good and pliable, not cracked, separating, especially down here in Florida, and the heat and UV. It's normal and for those things to shrink up a little bit. But what we're looking for is making sure there's no possibility of water intrusion. So sometimes we'll just recommend that it be touched up. This is a hot skin test. And normally we do this at the beginning. Have a ground cord attached to the test meter, and we're going to go around and check several places around the camper. Okay. And make sure, usually if there's a problem with the pedestal, or if someone has done some work in the camper and done some wiring, if you get hot and grounds crossed over, sometimes the outside skin can actually have a small charge on it. Small or large.
Oh, it's not grounded properly or something. Yeah.
And so first thing sometimes your first indication is when you grab your door handle and you start getting tingly all over.
Yeah.
So we just check, make sure several places around, places you would typically touch.
Okay.
Jacks, wheels, entry doors, those kind of things, to make sure there's no charge.
You having a hard time finding metal on a aluminum coach?
Got an important part here. We're good. We're looking for at least a 1/2 volt drop on your batteries, depending on how much we have on the side there. And what that will tell us is if your power converter underneath your power distribution box, your fuse panel.
Yeah, the one I just replaced.
We'll see how good it is. If it should be at least a 1/2 volt difference, if it's charging or not. So with power off, we anticipate the power to drop.
Okay.
So we're like 12.8 and was at 13.1. So it's we know that you're when you're on shore power that you're actually providing power here. Your battery's topped off. So that's what we're checking. Okay, so on fire extinguishers, on a towable, generally we'll have what's called a 5 BC rating. 5 BC. Okay. Anything that would have a generator or specifically a motorhome, anything that's powered by a motor, you want at least a 10 BC.
Okay.
It'll be a lot bigger.
Okay.
Another thing is these things are good for about 10 years, but if you have a bigger one or even a smaller one and your rig is 3 or 4 years old, sometimes if you pick it up there, it'll feel real heavy in the bottom. You can actually shake these things up and let all the powder stuff settle back down too, and just make sure it's a good working order, because it'll settle. Like we all settle.
Yeah.
Keep it.
So I need to have Michelle pick me up and turn me over every once in a while.
That might be a hospital stay for her. Taking the return air from the air conditioner, then we'll compare it to the outflow.
Okay.
It's called a delta T. We're looking for the difference in temperature. Looking for a minimum of 15 degrees. Of course, down here in Florida, where it's very humid, it won't be as high as it would be if we were out west where it's dry. The number would be very much higher because it's not having to take the moisture out of there as it cools.
So when you're getting into the breaker box, what are we looking for here?
Looking for signs of overheating. Particularly, it'll show up, manifest itself on your white comments here. You want to make sure that they don't get brown. That's a typical indicator for if they're overheating. Okay. And just generally check and make sure all the wires are good and tight, firm all the way across. You want to also make sure you don't brittle, and these wires don't play well together. You want to make sure that you don't have any the same color, basically. Get the grounds mixed up. And the ground bar back there, you only got ground wires going in the ground. That's the other reason why you saw me checking all the outlets, make sure there's no reverse polarity, and just checking, make sure all these are good and tight through here, and nothing's that you don't want to vibrate loose and you start creating kind of any arcing or any kind of thing that might create a fire hazard. Okay.
What you guys doing in there?
These fancy Airstreams have heated towel racks.
So with the smoke detectors, what do you look for on those?
Record the model number for you and also the year when it was made there. So
I inspected it. What did you expect?
most of these have about a 5-year life cycle.
Okay.
Some of their newer ones come out have better batteries and they go up to 10. But
Okay.
for most purposes, even in your home, sticks and bricks that have a life cycle too that people don't realize.
Okay. And that goes the same for the propane detectors as well.
I'm connecting the dots, dog.
I'd have to say I'm a little shocked for a few reasons. One is I didn't realize, I'm thinking of the Airstream here and thinking of what all do you have to really look at? I can think of, a lot of things here and there, but I had no idea it takes so long, and I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
When you have a bank, when they send somebody out to do an inspection, we've seen what they did. Now, when we had our Class A, Vinny, the guy came out, he did an inspection, and he looked it over, but there's a lot of things that I saw that he didn't actually look at, and I thought, I haven't been through it before, so I thought that's just what they do. But this time, and then this is the exact same bank, too. I understand it's a different unit, it's an older unit. Our Class A was an 09, this is an 18. That had a lot more components to it than the Airstream does, but still, when she came the other day to do the Airstream, she took 2 pictures outside, 2 pictures inside, and 1 picture of the VIN and said she was done. She said all they care about is that it's actually there. They want to know that somebody's getting a loan on something that is actually really there. The buyers wanted a copy of this report, and they would not let them have a copy. I understand the bank ordered it. The bank should tell you that it's not a thorough inspection. They really should. And so
It's a verification. It's not an inspection. It's a verification.
yeah, it's not an inspection at all.
It's a VIN verification, basically, is what it is. Yeah.
Right. So just be leery of that and know that. So if you go out and you buy an RV, you really do need to hire somebody that does a thorough inspection. And that's what we witnessed here today.
So
And
4 pictures? You took 4 pictures?
5.
5? We had 128 today,
Did you?
plus videos. So, and that was on the rig with no slides. So
Yeah.
with something with slides, you're closer to 200. So
Yeah, I can imagine. So everything he checked. I know we didn't show everything on camera because there was a lot. And underneath, from the underneath to the suspension, the awnings, every single component from electrical to plumbing to what you name it was checked today. Do yourself a favor if you buy an RV, get yourself an inspection. Do not trust the verification that the bank does, because that's all it really is a verification. It doesn't protect you at all, and just being honest. But
it is easy. All you have to do is go to nrva.org/locate. Just put in where you are, and it will give you all the inspectors. Then you can do a search radius of 25 to 100, 200 miles. Tell you that's our national locator. There's another website too called myrvresource.com that has the same information, plus technicians, transporters, detailers, all things RV is in that website as well.
Okay.
myrvresource.com.
myrvresource.com. Okay.
You can also go to the training academy out in NRTA Training Academy. You can contact them through NRVA. It's the same location out in Texas. And they have an exquisite 1-week course that teaches you everything. They advertise 80% of things that could go wrong in your RV, teach you how to fix it, 100%.
Okay.
They'll do everything we did today pretty much, as far as the systems operations, show you how they work and what might be wrong if they're not working. So that's
Very
a
good.
1-week course that owners can go through and learn just a ton of things, how to do your own maintenance, preventive maintenance, and when those maintenance, because we all know we think, we'll have issues from time to time. To me, I say phone calls are free, at least up to a point, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell my customers, in fact, the couple who are buying this beautiful rig today, I'll tell them, if you can't remember how to do something when you get out to camp it the first time or on the road, you might forget to flip a switch or something. You call me instead of calling a technician. And I can see we'll see if we can't talk our way through it. Then, if we can't do that, well, it's probably really broken.
Well, that's very nice.
But most of us don't mind doing that because we want you to be capable, confident, and in your rig. So we want to make sure that it's a good experience for you. And that's why we're willing to spend time with you and the 5, 6, 7 hours it takes to do these things and answer questions as we go. Sometimes clients are on site. It generally takes a little longer when they're there because they're asking questions, and that's okay. We want them to be confident and competent as well, and comfortable. 3 C's.
You're like, you just had an epiphany, didn't you? Like, I got to remember that, the 3 C's.
I'm preaching. Then some will show up right toward the end, and I'll give them a quick hot wash before they get the report, so that they will get the report tonight. Usually the reports are 100+ pages with all these photos, and the reports are broken down by a series of discrepancies if we find any. The first being the safety issue. A bad tire, a bad detector somewhere, a gas leak, because we checked your gas today, the propane today. It's good.
Yep.
Major issues, minor issues. It takes another couple hours once we get home to formulate this, because from our phones, we load it back up to the cloud and bring it back down to a laptop or desktop and put arrows on. As we make a comment about something, we always put arrows, circles, and just annotate the photo, so there's no doubt in your mind
what you're looking at.
What we're talking about. And then you have the capability, especially if you're going from a dealership, of printing out just the discrepancy list, 3 or 4 page discrepancy list, or wherever, how many it is, and sending that to your salesperson going, hey, I'd like this, I'll accept it as is. I want some monetary compensation for this, or it needs to be fixed for me to make this deal. So you can use it as a marketing tool, and by printing it out, it becomes a job list for the maintenance department. So they can just go through it and check it off one by one. It should.
Yeah.
So it's another tool, even after the inspection, to take to a dealership if you're going from a dealership, or if you're buying from an individual. Hey, this need attention. Let's negotiate a little bit on this. Yeah, but we're not going to tell you how much it costs to fix that. That's not what we do. We just want to tell you the function. And everything will be graded as good, fair, poor, or did not inspect, if it wasn't there or not present. Good is showroom condition. Fair is still good, but it serves its intended purpose, but it's showing signs of wear. Which, if you're buying a used rig, whatever, 2, 3, 4 year old, you expect there to be a brush mark against a sofa, a piece of furniture or a cabinet. Because people have lived in them or used them for a while, so you buy the rig, you expect it to have some age-appropriate wear, right? But that's generally how they're broken out. So that gives you an idea of what's in the report. And we try not to be as objective as possible. So that's why we say it's good, fair, or poor. Or we don't say, well, this is really good, this is really good. No, that's my perspective, right? And I might like a different kind of RV than what I'm looking at. So we try to be as objective as possible. And all of us have the same, same training, same standards of behavior as far as that goes. So we're very much self-regulated. So even if I find stuff on here, and I've had plenty of people go, hey, while you're here, can you go ahead and fix it for me? Yes, but no, I can't. Because we cannot come back anything we find on inspection for over a year.
Oh, really?
So that's our code of ethics.
I can see where that could be.
There might be some shysters going, well, I found this, and this, but hey, $9.99, I can fix that for you.
Right.
That's we don't want any part of that. And like I say, we're very strictly regulated. And if somebody's out there doing that or not holding up to the standards, they get booted off the island. They lose their accreditation and stuff. So.
Well, they should.
So that's kind of where it is. But we all enjoy what we do. And like I said, we want people to enjoy the rigs they go into and enjoy as much as we do.
Yeah, you feel confident because when you have an inspection done like this, I can see now, seeing this, that you should feel confident. But so your website, mfmrv.com. So I understand that you're not always in Florida, so sometimes you can actually locate you there too through your website?
On the website or that, either one of those locators we mentioned. We have a national locator that we can put like a winter here in Florida. I used to live here, but then we've gone full time. So come May time, we're going to head out west, north and west, try to beat the heat. But as we go, we can leapfrog our locator. Say we're going to be in Utah for a month. So somewhere around Utah. So we can, when you're in Utah and you need an inspection or maintenance, whatever else, you can just go in there and go, hey, I'm in where I am.
And they'll say, hey, Dave's here.
And everybody will
Let's get him.
That's right. It's not that we're fly-by-night shysters, just that a lot of us travel full-time, full-time RVers. But just know that we're all certified. And we also have continuing education we have to do every year. So it's not a one and done.
Okay.
Every year you have to have so many continuing education. So Those things come in. We have a week-long expo where different vendors come in, get training on Truma systems, all different kinds of, hydroponic systems, those kind of things, hydronics, air conditioners, microwaves.
Keep up on new technology.
Detectors. There's only a couple companies make all this stuff anyway. So we constantly try to keep our. I used to have a wise old man tell me you can chop a lot more wood with a sharp axe. So, we try to keep our certifications up and, the new technology out there because these things are changing rapidly.
Yeah, they sure are.
So,
all right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, your customers are getting good, Rick.
Yeah, well, good. You hear that?
That's the homie, yeah, that's my best friend.
But any questions, you can always call any inspector. You can try to go to my website, phone number there, and put in a call. Phone calls are free, pretty much. They are. So
just don't abuse them. I said it, you didn't.
But like I said, truly, most of us don't mind that. It just needs to be within reason. So when I tell my clients, like we said, if you got questions, call me. Even on the road, call me. And I always tell them, don't be afraid to call because you will not be the first that has called. I have some that call a lot.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I love trying to help people out. So that's why most of us are in this business anyway. So it's good.
All right.
Sir, well, you guys enjoy your stay.
All right.
Enjoy this warm winter we have here in Florida.
It is a little warm today, that's for sure.
So how'd the inspection go?
Went pretty well. Just minor things. Everything was pretty good. There's some things that I want to do myself just to clean some things up because I haven't had time. But see, the smoke detectors and the LP detector, they were just outdated. I never even thought about taking them off and looking at the back side of them that they'd be outdated. But I don't know if I go to the Airstream or to this good luck charm right here. I think I'm going to wear this more often. It's good luck.
That's the homie, yeah, that's my best friend.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click that little bell, and hit that thumbs up. See you next week.